Good morning, all. Camelback Trading 2724 coming to you this Thursday morning, December 5th. Looking at the last 3 days of the market profile of the SPY ETF. And after gapping high yesterday, the market's attempting to do it today. And I made a trade this morning, and I'm going to tell you why when we go over the chart. Well, I can show you why the trade and why I did it with the charts. So when I woke up this morning, right before I went on my bike ride, we were trading right at K's high, which were the single prints. We had gapped open yesterday, looking to gap higher today. We still had the trend there that didn't get taken back. All that poor structure that was repaired on the daily, well, if you continue to gap higher, all you're doing is leaving poor structure behind you again. So I took actually a short position in the ETF itself because I can't trade the options before 9:30. Shorted it up here at K, went on my bike ride, put a bid in right at yesterday's high, came back and was filled. So that was a nice trade, and now we're attempting to go back up higher again. All right, let's go over destinations and a game plan. So for the upside, since there's still just over an hour to go, we're going to use yesterday's high of 312.12. Now, the first one really is 311.66, but since we're trading up here, we're going to use that as a downside destination. Remember, the POC doesn't get taken off a sheet if it just trades above it or below. It needs to trade at it at some point. Okay? So 312.12, yesterday's high. Then the single prints from the second. They started 312.61, get filled at 313.02. Then I used B's high as the highest accepted price at 313.09 that day. 314.66, which is a daily high. 315.13, which is a daily high, poor high. 315.48 monthly high, all-time high. And 315.80, which is our pre-market all-time high. For the downside, if we gap higher, we will use yesterday's high of 312.12. If the gap fills and you get accepted back in, then you'll have the 11 wide at 311.66. Afternoon pullback low, which I forgot to mention last night. I thought M period took out the afternoon pullback low, but it never did. It missed it by 6 cents. So 311.31 afternoon pullback low from yesterday. Then, got to get to my sheet now. Then we don't have anything. Then we have yesterday's low of 310.32 and filling the gap at 309.64, 68-point gap. And then 309.61, which was a price probe from the third. 309.13, which was a price spike from the third. So, what's the game plan for this morning? Well, I already did that trade up around the single prints this morning, right? Overnight pre-market is in weak hand traders. So I thought we would bounce back a little bit. We did, and I did it. Now, if we open again around that level, I might take that trade again to see if we get a counter auction. I might want to see how we open. Do we open around there and drive straight up and fill them? Then I don't want to be short right away. If we open, get to them or right above, right around them, and then start coming right down, then I would might take a quick short position again. The trade is with value high or gap high. I'm not going to be in love with any short trade up here. Okay. And then we see if the gap, if I take a short here and it comes down to around yesterday's high, then I cover. As far as a call play, again, you can take one right around here, this 313.30 level, but that's a small gap and you still have this above you. So I think I'd wait. I'd rather be a buyer. Either let the gap fill, see if EJ's highs hold, you come back out of it, then there's a good chance you're at least going to get back to the single prints. Then maybe I'd take a call play. Because if you fill the gap and get accepted below E and J, you're certainly going to go down to 11 wide. No doubt about it. And then probably test the afternoon pullback low. So I don't think I would take a call play with this small of a gap. If in the next hour we gap above the single prints, well, then I'm certainly not going to sell it, but I'm certainly not going to buy it up there because then I would expect maybe a possible counter auction. So I'd wait for more market generated information. Chart wise, just going to show you the weekly and daily. So the weekly now is in a very, very nice 4-week balance, right? The all-time high and this week's low. That's a really nice balance. And that's what I thought this market needed and we got. Now, the daily, though, I said there was a lot of poor structure that needed to be repaired. And we certainly did that on those 2 down days. Now, I don't have a problem gapping higher yesterday. But if we're to gap higher again today, everything we repaired here is just being put back into place as poor structure. And that's, again, not, overall health-wise, to me that means if we get to the top of the weekly balance, we're not going to get through it because this still needs to be repaired. Yes, there was a P-shape. P-shape is short covering. It ultimately makes the market weaker because if they're the only ones buying it, once they're done or they step away and there's nobody to buy it, it's going to go down. Now, short covering can last for days, can last for weeks. But you still have to know who your competition is and what they're doing. Good luck trading today. Have a great day, and we'll recap at 4 p.m.